Hi guys, and welcome to the very first episode of Music by Mads. So this is a school project right now, and I am going to create 6 podcast episodes, just one season of a podcast about music. And that's the whole podcast. It's going to be great. I'll talk about our next episode at the very end of this one. So for this episode, I just wanted to kind of get an introduction going for me and who I am. I'm gonna scoot forward just a little bit. Just a little introduction for who I am and why music is important to me. So I'm Mads. That's all you get to know, apparently. And so the first question, I had a bunch of friends send in some questions. The first one I got was, why is music an important part of your life? I like music. That's why it's important. That's all I got for you. I just really enjoy music. I love playing music. I love listening to music. And I love experiencing music. So that's why it's important to me, is that I just love it. What drives your passion for music is that I love music. Just kind of going back to that first question. I just love music. And I love listening to music and experiencing music. I just said all of this. But I have always loved music, and like ever since I was a little kid. I started piano at 7, so it's like I've been doing this a long time and I love it. That's really all I've got. That's like my baseline answer is I love it. What kind of music hooks you in after a time of being away from it? Try anything I've ever listened to. I have lots of things that I go through phases for, and sometimes they don't last very long, or they last a really long time and I just get sick of it. One thing I've been on top of mind recently is Taylor Swift. I go through phases of really listening to her music and then going away from it and then going back to it, and that's my jam. I really love that I get to have something I can go away from and come back to and feel like nostalgic and have that safety net kind of in music. Yeah. And that kind of leads into the next question. I didn't even do this on purpose. I just wrote them down in order. How long do you listen to one genre before you have to listen to another? I don't know. I have no idea. I guess it just depends on how heavily I'm listening to the genre and how into it I am at the time. Because if I'm like moderately into it, I'll get sick of it pretty quick and then go somewhere else. And if I am not quite as if I'm really heavily into it, I think I'll stay longer. It just depends. It depends. Most of the time I don't switch genres, like big genre titles, too much. I just kind of shift within one genre. So I like pop, and I just shift. So if I'm in like folk pop, like Evermore, folklore kind of a thing, I might shift over to Ben Rector, which is a little more pop rock, leaning towards rock. So that one's more of a big genre shift, but I'll just stay within pop and just migrate through subgenres, which is really fun. Okay, next question. Do you keep a little dirt under your pillow for the Dirt Man? Yes, I do. Can you take some retro pop songs and point out their influences? The example they gave was Conan Gray's Found Heaven. Yes, I will be talking about Found Heaven. I love that album. I just got that vinyl recently. I love it. So the big one I wanted to talk about first was Alley Rose, which is very Beatles, and I actually have my piano on, so I get to play the chords. So it's a very interesting chord progression I was noticing when I was doing research. So we've got C, E minor, A minor, G, F, C, not that, D7, and G. So it's like, I don't remember. But it's a very interesting chord progression, and one thing I've noticed with the Beatles especially is they move through chord progressions a lot. They do lots of modulations, do lots of cool things, and that's one of the things I love about what modern pop is going back to with retro pop, is that we're getting back into modulations in songs. And if you know me, that's like drugs to me. I love a good modulation in a pop song. So all of Sabrina Carpenter's stuff, which I'll talk about in a second, is just absolute gold to me. She just modulates, and it's just very tasteful and very nice. And the people she works with on her albums know what they're doing. So I love Ally Rose, obviously, because of the Beatles sounding influence. And I just love, especially since the lyrics, I feel like, have the kind of same wordplay as a lot of Beatles songs do, because it's not spelled like alley like you would normally spell the name alley. It's spelled like an alley, like an alleyway. So it's kind of a different fun play on words, like, and he talks about meeting him at the corner store. It's a lot of fun things in Ally Rose, and that is one of my favorite Conan Gray songs. That bridge is golden. You should listen to it. Maybe I'll have it playing in the background. I probably won't. I don't want to get copyrighted. So I love that one. You should go listen to it. It's wonderful. It's such a wonderful song. It's such a wonderful album. Speaking of the album, let's move on to the next song within that album I think really fits retropop. So we're going to talk about Michael Jackson for a second, because Miss You on Found Heaven is so Michael Jackson. It is like the beat, the little ad-libs he does. Like in Billie Jean, you've got that really cool bass line. It's not the same like in Miss You on Found Heaven. He doesn't have like the cool bass line, but he's got those drums that are like, they're a little more synthy than Michael Jackson would do, but they kind of have the same vibe as like Billie Jean. And he has I'll start here. In Billie Jean, there is this like and it like kind of like floats across your headphones when you're listening like left to right. And he has a lot of those like ad libs, Conan Gray does, throughout Miss You, and I think that's just so Michael Jackson, and I love that. Forever With Me is another one of my favorites, and I just love this one. It's very fun. It's very Chicago. And actually my mom is the one who noticed that. I listened to Found Heaven for the first time on my way to move into my apartment. So we got to listen to it on the 4.5-hour drive. And it's not that long of an album. There's no albums that are 4.5 hours. I don't assume that was 4.5 hours. But we did get to listen to it, and my mom was noticing. She was like, oh my gosh, this is like such a Chicago sound. And I'm going to let you take a listen to it because it's lovely. Basically, I just want to give Conan Gray streams. Go listen to Conan Gray. That's your assignment. But I love this piano line. So just going back to the kind of chords, it's so we're in E. So E major, you've got a C sharp with a G on the bottom. And then you've got a C sharp major, not C sharp minor, because the next chord is C sharp minor, and that is a C sharp minor 7. Fancy. And then you go to your F sharp major with an A sharp. Nope, A sharp major with... Nope, F sharp with an A sharp on the bottom. I know how to read chords. Then you've got a B, A, B, E, add 9, E, add 9. Like, it's just E for the rest of it. But it's, like, such a cool... It's, like... Such a cool piano line, very Chicago. And then he has a key change in that one. Love the key changes. He has a key change, and he has these big booming choruses with like lots of harmonies. Whoops, I'm touched. I got my mic a little bit. With these big booming harmonies that just like big like choir chorus, well, not choir, but big like vocal stacks that are very Chicago in that way. One of my favorites from the album is the next song we're talking about. This is the fourth one. we're talking about 5 songs from Conan Gray's album. So this one is Boys and Girls, which I think is a Queen song if they were pop and still performing and writing today, if Freddie Mercury hadn't passed away. First off, Freddie Mercury would have loved Conan Gray with all of his heart, especially during the Found Heaven era. I feel like he's such a Freddie Mercury, like, he's so much like Freddie Mercury in a lot of ways with, like, his vibes, and I love that, and I think Freddie Mercury would have loved him. Second, the lyrics on the pre-chorus, I guess, the chorus is kind of boring on this one, but, like, in a fun way, because it just says boys and girls over and over again, or maybe that's the post-chorus. Maybe I am incorrectly categorizing it. But the pre-chorus, he goes, I want you to need me. I need you to love me. And there's one more line after that, but that way he says love me in that second pre-chorus is just, like, addicting, and you need to go hear it. So go stream Found Heaven, apparently, is what I'm promoting in this episode. And I think with how he wrote it, it's got this, like, fun, I don't know the key it's in. That's not the right key, but that's the right melody. It's this. It's like this fun, like, little synth thing that he does at the beginning, and it's just kind of like, it's at the very beginning and then it's in the choruses where he's singing boys and girls. That's what's going on underneath his voice. And I do not have the right key, but I do have the right melody line. I can promise you that. I listen to that song so much. The last song from Found Heaven that we're going to talk about today is Killing Me, because that song is Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler in another font. And you could put this song into Shrek 2. That's what it is. You could put this song into Shrek 2 and you would not notice a difference. It follows the same format as the Shrek 2 cover of Holding Out for a Hero, which both versions are bangers. It would fit perfectly into that one scene where the fairy godmother's singing it and Shrek is, like, going up to the castle because he is the hero, and it would fit perfectly in there, so I need you to go listen to it. Like, the hits on the chorus, literally the length of the song is just about the same as Holding Out for a Hero, and the tempo is almost the exact same. It's like he listened to Holding Out for a Hero and then was like, I'm gonna write a song that's basically that, but also not. Very good song. Love it a lot. Literally, down to the hits on the chorus where he's like, where she goes, holding out for a hero, and then he's like, you're killing me. You're not making it easy. And then he has, like, all of these, like, it's the same song in a different font, and I love it. I love it. It's not a problem that it's the same song in a different font. I love it so much. Anyways, shifting over to someone I mentioned earlier, Sabrina Carpenter. Key changes and interesting chord progressions. Because in her latest album, we're going to talk about Man's Best Friend, which is her latest album. It came out in early September. She has, tons of songs that do their thing. But we're specifically going to talk about Tears and how interesting that one is. First off, this is her Thriller. The music video, which is a Rocky Horror Picture Show reference, first of all. So that's already a really cool thing that she did, was a Rocky Horror Picture Show reference music video. And then just the chord progression sounds like Thriller in a lot of ways. Like, it's not the same, but the vibe you get from it and how she's got her little shikata ad-libs throughout the whole song. She's got her piano, she's got everything, and it's like, this is her 100% her Thriller. Enough said. The key changes and the interesting chord progressions. So I'm kind of going backwards for my outline, but this is a podcast, so I don't have to follow the outline. So Tears is so interesting because you've got this A minor 7 chord, we're gonna do that a lot. And then you've got a B minor 7 down to an E minor 7, which is like repeated over and over. That's the chorus, so it's like so that's like kind of how it sounds in the intro, and then like it just keeps going. And then you have this like mini modulation. It's kind of within the key, but you have this mini modulation that happens to your chorus, and that is a G minor. Well, it's actually a full modulation. Don't listen to me. It's a full modulation that happens. It is a G minor 7. Hopefully this is the right key. I took this from a guitar tab and transposed it down 5 half steps, so it should be the right key, but I might not be. I might not be right. I'm realizing now because this doesn't sound right. I don't remember. Anyways, we're going to pretend it's in G minor 7 for the... There we go. So that does it 4 times, and then you go back down to that E minor 7, and then you shift back into A minor 7th, which puts you back into the original key for the chorus. And it happens on both verses, that's the word. Both verses, where you go up to that different key, and it's just such a magical... She's got a little chime glissando that she does, and it's just a little magical to like bit of it, and I think it's wonderful. Anyways, I love retro pop. Go stream Found Heaven. It's apparently I'm just an ad for Found Heaven at this point. I love retro pop. I love what artists are doing with their synth sounds and how they're going back to the 80s. I forgot an example. It was like 2 a.m. The middle of the night. Oh my gosh, I forgot to do that vibe. Benson Boone. I know he gets a lot online, but Benson Boone is actually so talented. First of all, I'm just gonna put this out there. He is so talented, and he has a song called Mr. Electric Blue from his newest album that is so good. But he does this vocoder, and I'm sure this was his producer's decision, or he was just like, I want it to sound like this. But there's this vocoder that he uses in the post-chorus kind of bridge areas that sounds identical to Mr. Blue Sky by Electric Light Orchestra. I don't know if that was I'm sure it was. It has to be on purpose. There's no way that wasn't on purpose. Like that's impossible that it was not on purpose. So I'm sure they did this on purpose because Blue, Mr. Electric Blue, Mr. Blue Sky, like it's just so similar already. They're not very similar songs otherwise, but I thought that was a really cool nod to Mr. Blue Sky, and I love it. And I'm gonna go listen to that song while I'm doing my homework after this, because I love that song. I haven't listened to it in a while. Now we can move on. I've said my piece on retropop. I will be saying more of my piece in different episodes about retropop. I don't even know if that's what the genre is called. I'm just making things up at this point. My next question, the retropop question and this question were the same person, and they know who they are, and I love them. You go, girl. What do you think about Broadway actors chipping off and creating their own music? Good and bad examples were requested. So, I think it's great. I think that Broadway actors are literally some of the best singers we have, period. So I think they should go off and create their own music if that's what they want to do. I think that is a great use of their time. Not that I'm monitoring their time, but yeah, it's a great use of their time, and I love it. And yeah, so good examples. Our queen Renee Rapp. How could we not talk about her first? So let's give you a look at her rap sheet. So she's got 2 albums. Snow Angel and Bite Me, which is her most recent one EP, which is Everything to Everyone, that is my favorite of hers, and then the Mean Girls soundtrack from the Mean Girls movie musical, which she was the best part of. I'm sorry to any Mean Girls musical fans, specifically the movie. Renee Rapp was the best part, and they underutilized her. So my favorite songs, just of her whole discography, is you're gonna hate when we get to Ben Platt's section because it's like half of his discography. But for Renee Rapp, Everything to Everyone Extended, In the Kitchen, of course. If you don't like In the Kitchen as a Renee Rapp fan, I fear you don't, I fear. To Colorado. I know it's Colorado, but she says it Colorado in the song for the rhyme. Too Well, which is so funny because she hates Too Well. She does not like Too Well as a song, but I love it. It's very fun. It's upbeat, very like, it's just poppy and like fun. Talk Too Much. She gets like leans for Snow Angel, that's on Snow Angel, and she leans into like her more rock influence on that one. I kind of love it. Same with Tummy Hurts. That one's a good one. Messy's a good one. That also has really heavy electric guitar rock influence. And then from her latest album, Leave Me Alone and I Think I Like You Better. Of course, because she's leaning into her R&B on her slower things in that album, and then her more pop stuff on the more poppy songs. I think she's a fantastic vocalist. I think yeah, like I don't know what else you could think when you hear Renee Rapp sing, because she's amazing. PR Training will never catch her, and she has so many great songs and interview moments, and that's what I love about her. She was also in Mean Girls on Broadway, and I love Mean Girls on Broadway. She played Regina, and she killed it. She was 19 when she was in that musical. That's insane. She was on Broadway at 19 years old. Okay, moving on. Ben Platt. I know Ben Platt is a controversial person for some people, just simply because they think he was too old for the Dear Evan Hansen movie. Yes, he was, but also it was special to have him in that because he's the original Evan Hansen. Like, it's you get good and bad things. Anyways, he has 3 albums, so he just skipped the EP route and just put out a bunch of albums. So he's got Sing to Me Instead, Reverie, and Honey Mind. And then he's got a handful of singles that kind of got mixed into his albums. So my favorite songs, get ready for the longest list of your life. Bad Habit. So these ones are from Sing to Me. We're having a great time right now with my words. A great time. I hope you enjoy it. Anyways, so from Sing to Me Instead, we've got Bad Habit, Temporary, Grow As We Go, Honest Man, Better, Share Your Address, Runaway, and So Will I. Bad Habit is the first song he ever released as a pop artist. And I don't remember how I heard about it. I wasn't on social media. Like, I barely had a phone. I wasn't on social media. Somebody must have told me that he was releasing an album. But it was probably YouTube. I probably found it on YouTube. Let's put to rest. Okay. I loved Bad Habit. I haven't listened to it in a long time, and this might be an album I go back to. But Bad Habit was piano ballad, great, like, just live instruments, like, no synth or anything. This whole album was no synth or anything, just live, full instrumentation, which I love. But Bad Habit was so good. Temporary Love is just soulful, so full of soul. And I love Temporary Love. That one's such a good one. It's just sweet. Like, he's like, I'm gonna love you forever. Grow As We Go. Who doesn't know Grow As We Go? I'm a little concerned if you don't know it, and if you don't know it, you should go listen to it. And you're probably gonna be like, oh, that one. Yeah, you know Grow As We Go. Honest Man, if not just for the note he hits on the return to the chorus. If you've heard that song, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah. Better. It's sad. I love it. Share Your Address is one of the, like, couple happy ones. Like, there's only a few, not happy ones, upbeat ones is what I should say, not happy. Share Your Address is a really happy song, and it's a very exciting, happy song. He's just proclaiming his love for somebody. But not all the upbeat songs on that album are happy, and I should say that. Runaway is the album close, like the normal version album closer, and it's very cute. It's about his parents, and then it like shifts to him talking to his partner, and it's very sweet, and I love that. It's a cute little piano ballad with strings. It's my kind of music. So Will I is a little more, it's got some more synth in it, but like very subtly, and you can't really tell that it's synthy. It just kind of floats in there. His cover of Vienna by Billy Joel. This was for a show he did called The Politician. I've never seen it. I've just heard his covers that he's done in the Politician, and Vienna is one of the songs. I love Vienna anyways, but his choices for the riffs, the ad-libs, he just is so good. Both versions of that song are so good. Wow. I haven't listened to that version either in a long time. I have like 4 albums I'm gonna go listen to right after this. Anyways, then we go to Reverie, which is complete shift from Sing to Me Instead. Like, we had piano ballad, guitar, acoustica, like pop acoustica vibes from Sing to Me Instead. We're going full synth pop on Reverie. And I love both. Like, it's hard to pick a favorite from his albums because they're all very different vibes. So they're like good for different situations. I think right when Reverie came out, I was like in the mood for that. Love. Favorites from Reverie: Childhood Bedroom. Basically, it's like when I get anxious, I just pretend I'm in my childhood bedroom again, and then I'm not sad or anxious or whatever. And I love that. That's really cute. And Leave My Mind, so good. Such a good song. I love that one. I haven't listened to that one in a long time either. Dance With You is really cute. Like, if I'm gonna dance at all, I'm gonna dance with you. And I love that. I'm gonna say I love that 8 million times. Maybe I need an I love that counter. For real, or something. Carefully. Yeah. Sad song. Love that song. Dark Times. I cry. That one's so good. Because it's just him talking to his, like, little self. Being like, oh, it's okay. We're gonna be okay. Imagine. I think got put on Reverie? I think it was on Reverie. In the end. Oh no, it was on the standard version. It's not even deluxe. It's in there. But the acoustic version is technically the deluxe. And that actually was my last dance song at my wedding, which was great. It was a party. It's a really cute one. My husband and I both love that song. And so we had it as our last dance while everybody was getting ready for us to leave. It was awesome. So then we move to Honey Mind, which is his latest studio album that came out in 2024. If I have to rank all of his albums, this is probably my least favorite, but it's still a really good album. Like, he has great music. Before I Knew You is very adorable. Cherry on Top's like such a dance around your room kind of a song. Fear of Missing Out makes me cry, but it's like the last chorus is like, I'll go out to some parties if that's where I want to be, like, and that's the whole vibe. Like, I'll be there if I want to be, because I don't want to miss out on me because I'm forcing myself to be so social, so out there all the time. And then Need You Like This. Let me tell you. If I'm ever on Dancing with the Stars, I know that is probably never going to happen in my entire life. I would 1000% dance to Need You Like This. It is such a cool and beautiful, it would be such a beautiful Viennese waltz. And now you know one of my dreams. is that if I ever get famous, I'm going on Dancing with the Stars. I don't care how famous I get. I don't care if they don't want me. I will beg them until they make me a contestant on Dancing with the Stars. Yeah. Anyways, so going back to Reverie, I should say. We're bouncing around topics like nobody's business. Going back to Reverie, that's a great example of like some retro pop sounds. Highly recommend. I think it's my favorite, truthfully. I was such a good album, and it's like it's his sophomore album. So, you know, you have your first one, and that's like it can be a really good album. But whatever you do next, you're going to be a little bit more in step with what you're doing. So it's going to be a little bit better. You know? Anyways, so that's a great example of retro pop. Some other famous Broadway stars who have albums. Kristen Chenoweth, of course. Glinda. She's done, I didn't know she had done an album until I looked it up. I was like, oh, who else has done an album that I don't know? And she's done an album. I didn't listen to it because I didn't have time to. Maybe I need to. Leslie Odom Jr. has a great Christmas album. My mom loves that album. And then Anthony Ramos, of course, has music out. I don't know that I've ever listened to his music. Maybe I need to. Maybe this is my time. Who knows? And yeah, that's kind of a short list of like names that you probably would know if you aren't a Broadway fan. And some you probably still wouldn't know if you weren't a Broadway fan. And that's okay. Some bad examples, and I say bad, he's just not quite as successful, and that's okay. So going back to Dear Evan Hansen, actually, Andrew Barth Feldman, he's in his 20s, like he's pretty young. He was, I think, the youngest Evan to ever be Evan for a while. And then they found another kid who was even younger. I don't remember. I wouldn't say he's a bad example. He's just not quite as successful. He had a movie called No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence that he did. He apparently sang in that movie. I've never seen it. It's not my kind of movie, so I've never seen it. I heard people liked it, but apparently he sang for it. I really do love his song Every Pretty Girl. That's his only song he's really put out, I think. Maybe there's another one that I'm forgetting, but he's only put out that one to my recollection, and it was good. It suffered a little bit from production. I think he just didn't have access to as high quality production because everyone else was either wildly successful on Broadway or had ins. Like, I mean, Ben Platt was in Pitch Perfect, and his dad is Mark Platt, who produced like every rom-com in the 2000s. He's got connections. I'm sure Renee Rapp was just so wildly successful. She was famous when she did the Jimmy Awards, which is the high school, like basically the high school Tonys. And if you can get that famous from the high school Tonys, basically the Jimmy Awards, then I think you're set. She's doing fine. She's great. I don't think she wants to go back to Broadway anytime soon, which she doesn't have to because she's very successful right now. But going back to Andrew Barth Feldman, I think his music just suffered from lack of options for producers and access to equipment and stuff like that. I think he liked it that way. But I think it was just he didn't have the resources, and that's okay. It's still a great song. Every Pretty Girl is a great song. Moving on, we've got more questions. Those were the two, I put them in the middle because they were the two longest ones. And I figured if anyone wanted to hear them, it'd probably be the middle where you wanted to hear them. How do you experience burnout from music? Which I had never thought about before, but I do experience burnout from music. I have been experiencing burnout from music for like 7 months now. I am a violin major, and my last set of lessons was in not juried lessons, just lessons in general. It was in, I don't even remember. It was either last fall or this winter. And I really had I've had a rough time. That's like, I'm gonna get really vulnerable. Right now, first episode, sorry, you barely even know me. I had a rough time being able to balance my life when I was taking juried lessons, and it still kind of bled over when I was taking non-juried lessons just for fun. So I've been experiencing burnout. I've hardly touched my violin since I was done with lessons. I'm really hoping I can get back into it, but the thought of playing is exhausting because I put so much into it that I just am burnt out right now. Like, I legit have not played hardly at all in 7 months. And that feels weird to admit to people because I don't really talk about it, because I don't want people to view me as like a failure because of it, you know? Yeah. So we're getting back into it slowly. We're getting back into not feeling burned out from music. I'm also really busy, which doesn't help when I don't have a built-in time to do the things like practice violin or guitar or piano. If I don't have a built-in schedule, it gets a little hard because I just have a ton of homework. So hopefully once I'm done with school, cross our fingers, right? Anyways, from pop music, it's a different kind of burnout, obviously. So this kind of goes back to genres and feeling like I need to move from a genre, because you can just sometimes get burnt. I think that's burnout from a genre. You just burnt out all the happy juices you can get from the music for that point in time. Sometimes I just want to sit in silence and not listen to music, where I usually would be pulling out headphones or listening to something on the speaker or on the TV, or like watching somebody react to music on YouTube because that's something I enjoy. Sometimes I just like, no thank you. Like, that sounds terrible and I want a nap. Most of the time it's just because I'm tired or I've been listening. It's just fatigue from listening so long and I just need a nap or a break. And then I'm all good. Another kind of burnout you can experience, and that I have been experiencing, is burnout from other people's opinions about music. Because let me tell you, it's only, from the time I filmed this episode, it's only been a few days since The Life of a Showgirl came out. And when I tell you that it came out Thursday at 10 p.m. for us Mountain Time people, because we're cool and not on the East Coast, and we get music at 10 p.m. I'm kidding, I love you East Coast people. That sounded so like, you East Coast people. No, we love the East Coast, but we get music early because everything is set to East Coast time. The album was out 10 p.m. on Thursday. And when I tell you that by Saturday night, I was already burnt out from people talking about that album, I will talk about it more in my next episode. Topic reveal. We are talking about The Life of a Showgirl. We'll preview it more later. But when I tell you, I was so burned out because people just I was so tired anyways. I was so exhausted from the week that I was just like nearly in tears because I was just burnt out. I was just done with the internet. But my job is social media, so I have to be on the internet, and so that's all I could see. That's all I was seeing all the time, and it was just like absolutely driving me crazy. It has gotten better since then. I just stopped looking at my phone for the weekend because I got to, because I wasn't working as much. I had to work a little bit, just a tiny bit. So I think that's a very real thing. Like, even people talking positively about something can burn you out because you're just seeing it all the time. And that's on having way too much access and way too much communication in our lives. Burnout is crazy. Negative things burn you out too. Like, that's kind of where it can start, is like seeing something that you love being criticized, because like pieces of art can be criticized. I'm not saying they shouldn't be. I'm not saying they can't be. I'm just saying it will, if you like something a lot and somebody criticizes it, you're going to take it personally just a little bit. Because we're human, and that's what we do. And so, you just, oh well, you get a little burnt out, you take a break, and then you come back. And I'm already not burnt out again. It's great. And I love it. I'm so much happier already. And that was like 4 days of just this whole cycle. It was 4 days. It was not a long cycle. Okay. And that's on burnout from music. There's a lot of different ways to experience burnout from music. And it just comes with different parts of music. Like, are you playing music? Are you listening to music? Are you commenting on music? Like, there's a lot of different ways to experience burnout. And I think that it's okay. It's okay to experience burnout. On to a much less serious question. Actually, no. This is not a much less serious question. This is probably the most serious question that will ever get asked on this podcast. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Yes, I do. No need to worry. I do remember the 21st night of September. Okay. And we go next. What emotions does music enhance or negate in your life? I thought the negate part was so interesting in this question, but we're going to do enhance first because that's easier. And it'll get my brain in the flow. You know, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands with this. You love it. I'm going to shift a little bit. So, what emotions does music enhance in my life? Depends on what I'm listening to. Am I sad? So, whatever I listen to when I am in a certain emotion can change my emotion. And most of the time when I'm sad, I listen to sad music or I listen to happy music. And that's what negates it, is listening to happy music and bringing me out of the sadness. I think love songs is a very popular thing that enhances emotions for people, or negates, or just makes them sad and negates the happy emotion. Because, I don't know, I got a whole husband who's amazing. And so every love song I hear is about him. And that's how it goes. So that's one way. If I'm sad, listening to sad music it'll make me cry. And then I'll be happy again because I got the cries out. And then my body's like, we can rest again. Yeah, it just depends on what emotion I'm feeling. And yeah, I will say I don't feel like music will make me sad more often. Like, it's a rare occurrence that I do cry to music, and it's usually when I'm already sad. If I cry to music when I'm just, excited to listen to something, that's impressive, and that is good music right there. If I can have a physical reaction to something that is the complete opposite of what I'm already feeling, it's good music. Yeah. I think I answered that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe you're all like, I was more confused than I started. And that's all I got. Yep. Okay. If you had to give a piece of music as an antidote for an illness, what would you give to someone with, I'll just go with the 3 examples that were given in the question, depression, anxiety, and a broken leg. It is hard to be sad when you listen to something that makes you want to dance around. It is hard to feel depressed when you want to dance around to something. So I'd say listen to something that you want to dance to. And that could be anything. I'm like, Thriller makes me want to dance, but that's a little darker in vibe. Then say, Opalite by Taylor Swift, one of the ones that just came out. That song makes me want to dance. I did dance around when I heard that song for the first time. I love that song. That's one of my favorites. Spoiler alert for next episode. For anxiety, Fear of Missing Out by Ben Platt, which I just talked about like 10 minutes ago. I didn't just talk about it. It was 10 minutes ago. That's a long time in podcast time. It's Fear of Missing Out is an acoustic guitar. There's really only him and an acoustic guitar, maybe some atmospheric things, but it's just like, wow. Yeah. And then Biting My Tongue by Joshua Bassett. For anything, I'm also going to recommend Look How Far You've Come by Joshua Bassett. That's a good one just when you're feeling depressed, anxious, whatever you need, just sad. Like, look how far you've come. It's just very like, wow, we did it. Like, look how far we came. Speaking of Biting My Tongue as well, Biting My Tongue is track 1 on that album. And Look How Far You've Come is the last one. You should listen to the songs that are in between that as well. And that's it. For a broken leg, see a doctor. I don't think music can fix a broken leg. If you found a song that can fix a broken leg, tell me and I'll pull it out not when. We do not hope I break my leg again. If I break my leg again, I'll pull it out. If you find a magic song, let me know if you find a magic song that can fix a broken leg. Anyways, I think with emotions that come with like breaking a leg, there are plenty of songs that can make you feel better. Like anything nostalgic will make you feel better. Like, get yourself, for me, it would be, the first one that popped into my head was Daughters by John Mayer. My dad would listen to that one a lot when I was a kid, and so that's a very nostalgic song for me. Same thing with, oh my gosh, I can hear the song in my mind. Oh, I'm so mad right now. My dad would play it on guitar when I was a kid. Awkward. The amount of silence that has happened in this episode, and I apologize. Anyways, I think anything by Jack Johnson, specifically from the Curious George soundtrack, if you've seen that movie, it's going to be nostalgic. Upside Down is nostalgic anyways. Also for me, You Belong With Me is probably one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs, and that came out when I was a kid, and I still know every single word of that song, but that's one of the fastest songs I've ever memorized in my entire life. When I was like, when did that come out? 2008? 2008? I was like 5 when that came out. It might have been a couple years after where I had it memorized, but I remember, like, I love that song. It's so good. It's a great song. Some people said it was overplayed. That's okay. I don't care. I like it. Yeah. I'd say anything that makes you nostalgic will really help without any of those. Songs filled with good memories for you will heal a little piece of your heart. No matter what. That's all of my questions. This is your introduction to this podcast, and I hope it was good. I hope I didn't scare you, and I hope that you'll come back for next week, which we're going to be talking about the life of a showgirl, and is it glam or a sham? We're going to find out. I am very excited to talk about it. There's a lot of things to talk about with it. We'll also talk about like her press tour that she's been doing within the life of a showgirl era, because I think that's an important thing to talk about. And yeah, before we actually say goodbye though, I am going to be doing a segment every single week called the Songs of the Week. So these are songs I've been listening to recently or just have thought about recently. Most of the time it's that I've been listening to and want to share with you. There's a playlist that has been updated on Spotify, and if you follow my Instagram, just at musicbymads23, you can listen to it. It's linked in my stories and my highlights, my story highlights, so that you can access it anytime. You can save it, watch for things to get added, just listen to it. There's already a bunch of songs on there because I wanted to fill it out a little bit, but all of these will be on there as well. Sometimes there will be repeats that I've already said, and those won't get added to the bottom, but they'll be already in there because they're already in there. So here we go. Here is our very first Songs of the Week. I'm so excited. Starting off strong with a new release is Blue by Joshua Bassett. Very cute, a sweet, sweet love song. Then we've got Strategy from K-pop Demon Hunters, and all of my friends who have been trying to get me to watch it will be very excited. To be clear, I still have not watched it. I don't have Netflix, but I listened to the music, and it's very good. I like it. I like it a lot. Thriller. It's October. It's thriller time. Mirror by Joshua Bassett. Such a good, like, this is one of the songs that made me cry the first time I listened to it. Biting My Tongue, I already mentioned, by Joshua Bassett. Very good album opener. I think it's I don't think he meant to be, but he was kind of the start of the narrative pop movement that's kind of come back with Conan Gray's latest album and Man's Best Friend. The Golden Years by Joshua Bassett, which is the album, did it first. Interesting tidbit for you. Dancing with Tears in My Eyes, also by Joshua Bassett, also on The Golden Years. Fantastic album, fantastic song. That's a song to listen to when you're sad, because it's like upbeat, but also sad, and I love it. And then going off strong, ending out strong with Class Clown by Conan Gray. Also cry to that one. Apparently I like sad music. You'll find that out. You'll find that I really like sad music. But that's all of the songs of the week for the week. Check them out. They'll be on the playlist. And I'll see you guys next week.